The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Bus stations in the metro are seeing an influx of passengers as travel restrictions ease further this holiday season. To accommodate more passengers, bus companies are now urging the government to allow the operation of additional units. Sam Terante with the details.
More people are flocking to bus stations to get to their provinces just in time for New Year's Eve. One of them is Elvie, who patiently lined up for a bus ride together with her 2 kids. This is the first time that the family will be able to return to Muñoz, Nueva Ecija since the pandemic started.
Medyo mahirap po siya kasi madaming nagsiuwian. Mahirap po talaga magbiyahe ngayon. Edi sa tagal na pong hindi nakauwi, kailangan pong makikipila tayo para lang po makauwi.
Despite the long lines, Elvie is excited for her children to meet her mother in the province.
Excited na po makita sila ng mga lola nila kasi sa 2 taon po na hindi sila nakauwi.
Meanwhile, the student admits that he remains afraid of the threat of COVID-19, especially in public transportation. But it's a risk that he's willing to take just to see his family for the holidays.
Nandun yung worry pero yung excitement na makasama yung family na nasa ibang place.
The Baliwag Bus Terminal Management says they have been seeing a heavy inflow of passengers over the past 4 days.
Napapansin po namin mga ilang araw na nakakaraan na talagang pauwi ang tao sa probinsya. Saka siguro po talagang unang Pasko nga ngayon ulit, galing sa pandemic, kaya napakaraming tao.
The bus company is now appealing to LTFRB to allow operations of additional bus units so they can accommodate more passengers.
Sana na maibalik na yung lahat ng unit namin kasi kami man hindi pa rin nakakapasok ng normal.
The management also reminds the public that to be able to travel, adults should be fully vaccinated.
Face mask, saka yung pagpasok po sa gate, kailangan fully vaccine. Kung may kasama mga bata, fully vaccine talaga magulang.
Health protocols are also strictly implemented in the terminal. Passengers are required to wear their face masks while lining up. Body temperatures are also measured. Inside the bus, plastic barriers are installed to separate passengers. The IATF has allowed Baliwag Transit to transport passengers from NCR to Bulacan or Nueva Ecija. Other bus companies authorized to resume operations are 5-Star Transit and Victory Liner. Sam Terante, we are One News.
How safe is it to travel long distances during this holiday season? And is the shortened quarantine period actually a good idea? An associate professor of Johns Hopkins University tells us in this Bloomberg report.
The 14-day quarantine was when we were unvaccinated. It was with the Alpha variant. Those transition dynamics have evolved with every single variant has come hence after. We think that if you're vaccinated, you test positive, but you're asymptomatic, your risk of transmitting to another individual is significantly decreased past 7 days. And so a 10-day reduction for quarantine seems appropriate.
Okay, so that may be good news for some people who want to travel during the holidays, but for travelers who are fully vaccinated, boosted, want to go see their families, we've also seen that being fully vaccinated and boosted doesn't necessarily prevent you from a positive case. And we are hearing from advisors to airlines, a medical advisor to IATA, saying that you're 2 to 3 times as likely to get COVID-19 on an airplane with Omicron as you were with previous waves of the virus and previous variants. Would you feel comfortable vaccinated and boosted traveling this holiday season?
So this holiday season, I take a pause. So I've actually canceled my travel plans. However, I just returned from an international trip. So I will say if you're going to travel, think about shorter distances where you can remain masked for the whole time. Do think about getting tested the day of travel. That way you know like what your risk is to transmitting to others once you arrive at your destination. Also think about traveling at times when the airport is likely to be less busy, and ensure that once you travel that you decrease the number of stopovers, because each stopover you're again likely to unmask, have something to eat or drink, and it's those periods when you're unmasked when the risk of transmission is the highest. So traveling as safe as possible is going to be my recommendation. If travel is avoidable, or if someone in your party is unvaccinated, has a medical illness, is elderly or immunocompromised, then definitely rethink travel.
As Christmas approaches, people flock to Divisoria's night market to buy last-minute gifts for less. Meanwhile, people stand in line for hours just to purchase the Christmas staple, ham. Paul Samarita has the rest of the story.
It never sleeps at Divisoria Night Market, especially just 2 days before Christmas. Many were squeezing in some last-minute gift shopping for their loved ones, like Jocelyn Catapa, who was only able to shop after their boss let them have an early timeout from work. And she made sure that her time will be well spent, as she shopped in Divisoria from 4 in the afternoon yesterday until way past midnight.
Pagka-out ko sa trabaho, dalawa kami ng kasama ko sa trabaho, yung kaibigan ko. Namili kami, sinamahan ko siya. Tapos nung pauwi na ako, chinat ako ng kapatid ko na papunta na siya dito, kaya inantay ko siya. Tapos nung pauwi na rin sana kami, dumating naman din yung pamangkin ko, papunta na rin daw siya kasama yung asawa ko. Kaya inabot kami ng matagal.
Despite this though, Jocelyn admitted that she still has more gifts to buy, aside from the toys and shoes she bought for her nephews. Arnold de Mesa, on the other hand, did some late Christmas shopping because he had to save up some money first.
Wala pang budget Ngayon lang nagkapera. Kasi may hanap buhay pa sa gabi. Kakauwi lang rin sa pagtitinda.
He said that he will return to Divisoria on Christmas Eve after 2 more days of work so he can buy additional gifts for his kids. Meanwhile, in Quiapo, Manila, as early as 3 in the morning, people were already lining up outside the store selling ham, despite it opening at 8 a.m. Experienced buyers knew that if they arrived late, the line might be too long already, and there would be no ham left for the day. Company driver June Angeles was the first in line. However, the 6 kilos of ham he would be purchasing is not for his family's Noche Buena.
Pasko ng mga boss ko yan. Actually, sila nagpabili niyan. Actually, nakain ako ngayon.
A kilo of ham with syrup packed separately costs 1,640 pesos. But if the syrup is combined with the ham itself, it costs less at 1,540 pesos per kilo. And for scrap ham, a kilo costs 1,440 pesos. While this ham is only being sold in their store in Quiapo, there are groups online that offer pasabay. Additional 200 to 400 pesos will be paid on top of the original price of the famous ham.
Time now for a quick look at some of today's headlines. President Duterte finally visits Siargao, almost a week after it was hit by Typhoon Odette. Former Senator Bongbong Marcos tops the recent Pulse Asia survey. Results also show that although far behind, the runner-up Vice President Leni Robredo is gaining momentum. And the losing streak for Blackwater continues as Alaska scores another win in the PBA Governor's Cup. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.